Chat comments off. Let's urge. It's now story time. Story time. Let's urge. So listen, this is a race war between the brothers and the Asians. So Dave Newing was a trump for his people. At the time, there was some hitters for the Asians: T. Newing, Dave, Kim, Guile, Mango, and there was other ones. But Dave ends up at Bathurst on his own. Jace S, thank you very much. This is why we took the opportunity to get him at Bathurst. It's funny, but because it was an Aussie dude that ends up making the actual play, but he ran with the brothers, and this is what caused Silverwater to pop off. As I was saying in my earlier before I started battling, if you've seen my podcast with Nath Patterson when I first got out last year, on the recommendation of Rebel, I didn't really want to do it, but she was like, go, do it, get your name out there, rah, rah, rah. So I do it. Well, that race war that's in that clip at the very start is the repercussions of what happens to Dave in this story, right? Now, Dave Newing had been a trump for the Asians for ages. Like, he was a 5T gang member. He put a lot of work in for his people. He's been to the STG. He had never been to the Supermax, but he was in the STG. And he was definitely about it, and he was a shot caller for his people. So he had participated in a lot of, like, jumpings of the brothers, race wars, and like, whatnot when it comes to the brothers and the Asians, right? So he got put on a list, as I got put on one of their lists and other boys got put on the list, right? So he, like I said, as I've always said before, back in the day, we used to have control of the reception room, which meant we got to see when people were coming, where people were going, who was at what jail, and like, you know, like we could always tell who was leaving and who was coming. So we got the word that Dave Newing was coming on escort, right? So the boys put in a plan together. At Bathurst, you got two wings, but really four wings, right? So you got two building blocks for the main, right? You've got A wing that's remand. You got D wing, that's protection and segro. Then you got B and C wing, which are both main, but they're split into two. So you got B1, B2, B3, B4, C1, C2, C3, C4. Back in the day, Bathurst never had the fence down the middle. So if you've been to Bathurst recently, it's all segregated like every other jail, right? So he went to B1 and 2. The next day, he moved out because obviously, Bathurst being a brothers wing, he knew that obviously he had dramas. He moved straight across to where a couple of the Asians were and a couple of the Islanders, and they were in C3 and 4, right? Might have been 1 and 2, but anyway, he moved to C wing, right? So now, obviously, you know, he was always going to get got. He didn't get got the first day, the second day. We probably got him the third or fourth day later, right? Oi, Dave Ingham, thank you for joining. So, there was another bloke that ran with us, right? His name was Nathan. I'm not going to mention his last name. He didn't really run with the brothers, but he was around the brothers, you know, like he had a lot of brother mates. His girl at the time was Corey. He didn't really get involved in too many race wars with the brothers, but he was with the brothers, right? He ends up taking Nath ends up taking Dave out because they had a personal drama as well, right? And, he's the one that ends up taking him out. So, the day comes to when it was to take Dave Newing out, right? Now, the other Asians that were there with him at the time, they weren't really about it, but you can never underestimate the Asians. If you understand anything about Asians, they're all hard. They'll never leave any of their mates or brothers behind. They'll always jump in, and it doesn't matter how bad they get bashed, they'll always take a hiding and always go down with their team. Like, that's one thing. They won't run. If they do run, it's running straight at you. Like, the Asians, they're always been about it in jail. They've got no preservation of life. They actually have no preservation for life because they come from a third world country where life was, Mateo, thank you for joining again, where life, you know, like, was taken for granted. So, it wasn't really a worry about who was there with him at the time because the boys knew that there wasn't really any big hitters with him or anything like that. So we didn't really have to put too much effort or thought into how we're going to do it and what we're going to do, right? Nate puts his hand up to do it. He says to the brothers, listen, I'll do it. You know, I mean, we've got a personal issue. I had dramas with him before. He actually had dramas with his cousin, a bloke called T. Newing. If you've done any prison in New South Wales, you know who T. Newing is. He's another hitter for the Asians. He's done a lot of STG. He's done a lot of Segro. He's also been in a lot of race wars with the Asians. T and I actually had a one-on-one at Parklea where it was me, Wok Simon, Terry Sampson, Charlie Carr. There was heaps of brothers. Anyway, this is when we had the race war at Parklea when Area 5 was the main when it first opened, but ended up changing over. So T and I, we had some personal issues as well. Well, there was no one like that with Dave at the time. So it was a perfect time to get him, right? So an Aussie dude goes and calls Dave Newing out and says, oi, listen, come upstairs, like one of the boys want to talk to you, right? Well, he said, yeah, all right, sweet, not a problem, I'll come up, you know, but he never went and got any of the Asian dudes to come with him. Like, he just went upstairs. There was a couple of islands upstairs waiting just on the landing, you know. Nath Green was up the top already waiting for him, right? So as Dave comes walking up the stairs, Nath's kind of... So in Bathurst, it's exactly like Goulburn. If you've been to Goulburn, you understand how the wings are and how the chutes are, like to walk up the stairs. So you've got a set of stairs and you've got a cage around it. Up the top, you've got a gate, right? And then the wings down each side, all right? And you've got like a little section in the middle where you can look straight through from the top landing all the way down to the bottom landing, right? Well, C2 and C1, 2, C3 and 4 doesn't have as many landings as B3, B4, B1, B2, right? Well, Nath was waiting up the top for Dave. Well, I don't know if Dave thought that Nathan had forgotten about the drama or if he just took Nathan as, oh, he's not going to do anything, right? Well, when Dave gets to the top of the stairs, Nate stopped him and says, oi, bro, come down here, we're going to have a go, like in the cell. And Dave's like, what? They start actually verbally at the top of the stairs, right? Well, Nathan just bombs him straight away, like they get into it, bombs him. Well, he happens to bomb Nath and bomb Dave and knock him out, right? But instead of Dave falling back down the stairs, he kind of slumps and falls at the top of the stairs. Nathan picks Dave up, right, and throws him down the metal stairs, right, like froze him. Well, a couple of the other boys that were up there at the time that were running with the Asians come over to Nath, you know, but couldn't get involved because it was a one-on-one, right? Like it was like a one-on-one. You can't involve yourself in a one-on-one when it's not your people. Even though they were running together, they can't really involve themselves because then there's going to be a conflict and it's going to be a war, right? But a couple of young brothers that just wanted to start a drama, when Dave gets thrown down the stairs asleep and he lands halfway, one of the brothers lay the boot in, right? Because like the brothers and the Asians have got drama, so they lay the boot into Dave, right? Now, for some reason, at that time, right, then the other Asian come out of wherever he was and tried to get involved, but he didn't get involved by throwing punches. He got involved by just like separating the boys from Dave because Dave was knocked out. As Dave woke up, he was like, who hit me? What happened? Like, who hit me? Rah, 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 what's going on, right? Well, the screws then come into the wing, so it all disperses, right? But they see Dave. So they take Dave to the clinic, right? Well, they know Dave's got issues with the brothers, so they automatically thought that it was the brothers. So they put the whole jail in lockdown. And obviously, at lockdown, they go and look for the cameras and do what they do, right? Because it opened up at the top of the stairs, they found out that Nath did it and take him to Segra and also take the young brother to Segra because he put the boot in to Dave when he was at the bottom of the stairs, right? This is why it started at Silverwater, because the word travelled back to all the other Asians that he got jumped. he didn't get jumped, but he did get like punched right by Nathan and then kicked by another brother. Not at the same time, not together, but in the same assault period, right? So this is why the race war, Audrey Hepburn, bang. This is why the race war kicks off at Silverwater. And I'm sure everybody's seen the race war at Silverwater. Everybody. It's one that they show continuously. Every time there's an issue in a prison system or a race war in a prison system, this is the one that gets shown continuously. Always. It's without fail. It's always the one that gets shown. This is because this was one of the first ones ever to happen. Like, this is when it's the peak of the race war started to begin. Like, 2004, 3, 4, all the way up to like 9, 10. This is when like the race wars were at their peak, you would say, you know. So now Dave's been assaulted and bashed by Nathan and kicked by a brother at Bathurst, right? He goes to the clinic. They put him in Segro. They put Nathan in Segro. They move Dave because they know that they can't let him back out because there's an issue with the brothers, right? Double tap, repost, chat. Listen, also, let's try. Oi, Dills, thank you. Oi, where's the slag? Thank you. Let's still try to achieve a live goal, chat, as we're talking. Like, let's keep pushing, chat. Let's keep pushing for our position in A-League. I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin this one. Let's go, chat. Oi, let's go. See if we can achieve the live goal while we're talking. And at the end of this battle, we've got, at the end of this story, we'll go and do 3 more battles. And then I'll do I might touch on the escape for you, George. So, right, now it's been out that Dave, the worst thing about jail is the Chinese whispers and the telegraph in jail, like the bushmail. With the Chinese whisper, it starts off one way. And by the time it gets to where it needs to go, it's got a whole different ending and 30,000 like situations in between, right? So, bang, hey, thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Now it gets to the Asians that he got jumped at Bathurst. That's Wagwan. Thank you very much. That's what's happened, right? Thank you, Hayton. No, you're a legend. Thank you, chat. Oh, yeah, I appreciate you, chat. Whatever we can do, Hayton, thank you very much. You're a legend. Where's the slags? Thank you very much. So, we're at Silverwater one day, right? Now, the numbers are even. You can see on the camera footage that the numbers are even. The tension had been in the pod for 2 or 3 days. You could feel it. Hayton, with all the TikTok soccer balls, what are they? You're a legend, bro. You could feel the tension building at Silverwater. You could feel it. But a matter of fact, you could feel it building throughout, like, the jail where brothers and Asians were. You could actually feel the tension because you would talk to them usually. The boys stopped talking to them and they stopped talking to us, you know, like the air got thicker and the boys kind of knew that it was about to pop off, right? I wasn't there for this one. I wasn't at Silverwater for this one. I was at Parklea, right? So this happened at Silverwater. We were at Parklea, like I said, me, Sampo, Wok, Charlie Carr, and a couple other brothers at the time that we ended up having the race war with them at Parklea. Also, when Nick Hampton got abstayed by Orbs and Jack. That might be a story. I haven't told that story. I'll tell that story next, actually. And this caused a big drama with the Islanders off this race war at Silverwater. So, obviously, the brothers and the Asians, they end up going for it at Silverwater, right? This was all over Dave Ewing getting attacked at Bathurst. You see what happens there. Like, you see, it wasn't dangerous, but it was because it was one of the first ones and the Asians come running through the office. It looked terrible. Do you know what I mean? It looked terrible. There was no real stabbings, even though there was knives involved. There was no real major bashings, even though people had been like falling on the ground and the boys were jumping on them. Like, there was nothing really dangerous about that race war, you know. What made it look terrible was how the officers were trying to push the Asians back from running from 10 pod when they ran through the office and joined in, as you see with that big massive fly kick at the time on the where the kitchen is, where the Asian jumps up and does a massive fly kick. So that's the reason behind that war. Like, everyone asks, why did that pop off? What was it about? Like, rah, rah, rah. It was about Dave Newing getting bashed at Bathurst, right? This led to the war with Nicholas Hampton. I don't know if you know who brother Nick Hampton is, but he gets stabbed by the Asians and the Islanders whilst we're at Parklea. This is why we had the race war at Parklea with the Asians and the Islanders. So what happened was, Nick Hampton is the brother of Anthony Hampton, right? And I'm very, very close with these boys. So at the time, there was Terry Sampson. He was in APOD. Me, Wok, Charlie Carr, I think Vernon Chile maybe, and a couple other brothers. We were all in B-Pod. Hampo and Gibbo and a couple other brothers, they were in C-Pod, right? So what happened was, Hampo and Gibbo, there wasn't many brothers in C-Pod at the time, right? This race war had just broken out at Parklea, right? They just at Silverwater, right? So we had been locked in because we heard about it. Like I said, when a race war occurs at any prison, 95% of the time, every jail in New South Wales will get locked down until Intel can figure out why it happened and what's going on and who was involved and have they sorted it, is it ongoing, what's the chances of breaking out here, rah, rah, rah. 9 times out of 10 it's going to break out somewhere else, but they lock you in, right, and they lock you in for 48 hours. So there was 2 Islanders in the pod. One by the name Jack Pritchard, the other by the name of Orbs. If you've done jail in New South Wales, you would know who these Islanders are. At the time, they were hitters for the Islanders. Maybe not hitters, but they put a lot of work in for the Islanders. There was also another Islander brother who I'm very close with at the time, Shane Fenton. This is why Shane Fenton and Anthony Hampton had that go at Parramatta when Philos and I were there. And Hampo and Fenno, they had to go at Parramatta. It was one of the best one-on-ones that a jail has seen. It was that tough of a fight, even the screws let it go when they come down because it was a one-on-one. And it was that fair and that tough of a fight, everyone just stood back and let them punch on. Philos and I were there at the time when that happened. And Hampo can bang and so can Fenno, right? So this is the reason Hampo got Fenno, because of what Orbs and Jack done to Nick, right? So this morning, Nick comes out and he gets his drink at home day, right? Now, Nick's got a massive burn on his chest. When he was young, he was running through the kitchen and he slipped and he hit a hot pot of water, like a boiling pot of hot water, and it splashed all over his chest, right? So when it splashed on his chest, it burnt him. So he had to go and get a skin graft, right? So he's got a massive scar all over his chest, like full skin graft scar, right? He's blessed that he has this because this is what saved him. And also what saved him was him being on the dome, right? Because being on the methadone or the chicken soup or alcohol or whatever, or any sort of downer, it slows your blood pressure and it slows the rate your blood pumps through your body, right? So this actually worked into Hampo's favour, because if he wasn't on the home day, or if he didn't have that scar on his chest, he was dead. He was dead, bro, which is crazy to think about, right? So they're in C-Pod. We're all in the other pods, right? And we're talking through the fences and we're telling the brothers to be careful, like stay together, watch out. C-Pod had the less numbers too at this time. There was only Hampo, Gibbo, and maybe 2 or 3 other brothers that weren't about it. But Hampo was on the list for the Islanders, right? Because Fenno and Hampo had dramas before. They hadn't had a fight yet, but they had dramas. So when Hampo come through, being Anthony's brother, he was automatically going to get taken out by him, right? And the boys were telling the other brothers to keep an eye on him because they knew that there was a possibility of Nick being attacked, right? So we're trying to get Nick out of the pod and move him into our pod where we had more numbers and he was Eatswar, right? But the Loose Greys didn't do it. So the morning he got attacked, this is how it happened. He went to get his dome. But when he went to go and get his dome, the boys planned it, right? And thought, as soon as he comes back, we're going to get him, right? Now, Parklea, situated Area 5, is like Silverwater. We got cells down the bottom, Cells up the top. Cells up the top. And you got stairs this side and stairs that side. So you can walk, get up the top and underneath. The boys were upstairs. Now, Hampo comes walking back in the wing, right? The boys are out the front of one cell. Well, they walk into a cell. Hampo goes to walk past, right? And they call Hampo in the cell. Hampo's like, yeah, what? They said, come in here, bro, right? Hampo, I don't know if he wasn't thinking or if he didn't care or whatever the situation was, right? But they called him in the cell, right? So Hampo goes into the cell. They have a bit of a words and they talk, right? Hampo leaves the cell, right? Goes to his cell, starts making a coffee after he's had the methadone. That's what you do, right? Like you get your methadone, you go and make a coffee, right? I don't know why. Apparently they say it brings it on. Who knows, right? Who knows? But he's making a coffee, right? So the islanders walk from that cell. They must have thought, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going to go. So they go to his cell, right? They go to his cell. Well, when Jack and Pritchard walk into the cell, they pull the door behind them, right? Well, another brother sees that the islanders go in, so they go up. And I don't know, this is why Gibbo ended up having dramas with Ivan. This is why Ivan ended up having a bit of problems with the brothers after because of what he did, right? So he walks up to the cell, right, because they're two out. Well, he sees, when he opens his door, he sees Nick in the middle of both Jack and Orbs, right? Orbs says to Ivan, oi, fuck off, lad, shut the door, fuck off, right? Ivan shut the door and left. I don't know why, bro. I don't know why. He should have just said, what the fuck, no way, and walked in. But he shut the door and left, right? Then it popped off. They attacked Nick, right? So Nick was doing his best. They pulled an A-blade out and they had him stay in the chest, in the throat, in the face and whatnot, right? Well, Nick gets out of the cell and, they leave, right? Well, he ends up dropping down at the bottom of the stairs, right? And the clinic come. But what saves Nick was he got stabbed in the heart. Nick actually got stabbed in the heart. The knife penetrated his heart by a mil, just enough to tap it and pierce it, right? But what saved him was the burn on his chest, bro. Because the scar was that thick, right? It didn't go all the way through. What helped him on top of the scar was the methadone, bro. Even the clinic and the nurses and the ambulance, when they come to get him, said if his blood pressure wasn't as low as it was, he probably would have died because it actually penetrated his heart. But because of the scar and the methadone, it saved him. Who would have thought having a drink of Dome on that kind of day, it would save you, bro? Being saved by the methadone. Is that not crazy? Being stabbed in the chest and having a drink of methadone saves him, bro. Wow. And that's why, and this is one of the reasons all the race wars started to pop off, because now it's all about retaliation. So Hampo ends up meeting Fenno at Parramatta, and they had a go at Para under the awnings. Yeah, oi, yeah, oh, Bicky, yeah, Unky, yeah, fucking oath, bro. Only for your snummates ussy pay, you madman. If I love your unmates ussy pay and I'm on it every day, does that mean it's Unky? Well, I'm Unky, lad. Because I've been eating it daily. Oh, yes, lad. Well, Ethan, yes, I lad. Yeah. Oi, yeah, bro, it's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Bro, how crazy. Oi, Brian, how crazy is it that methadone saved him? Because his heart rate was that low, poorly. Because his heart rate was that low, yeah, bro, it actually saved him. What? Did you ever have the nickname Shaton? Nah, but... Oi, good question, Cartier. Do a lot of the ball runners get on drugs before fights? Drills, Ivan, bro, Ivan Gibbo, yeah, Drills, 69, Ivan, my bro, yeah, fruity, yeah, but he didn't know, bro, but still, he should have, like if someone said, if you see, oh, no way, nah. Hey, Jay, Dubs, what's happening, bro? How are we? Yeah, so he should have known better, but bro, he should have known that, you know, when someone says, yeah, Ryan, Fenno is, yeah. Yeah, oi, Drill 69, I do. Siani's a very good mate of mine, bro. He's a very, very good mate of mine from the city. Yeah, like, very, very good mate of mine. But yeah, like, so, at the time, Katana MK23, thank you for joining. Yeah, he just left, bro. I don't know why. Like, but yeah, methadone saved him, bro. Crazy, eh? But this is what started popping off all the race wars then, bro. Like it actually got crazy for a period of 18 months. It was very hard to go around to certain AWJs because, like, they would send the Asians to Bathurst, right? Because they were outnumbered there. And then they'll send us to Parklea. Yeah, he goes on with it, Jules. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he goes on with it, bro, 100%. Oh, Block Troy 600. Oi, Caden, Fairhead, thank you, bro. Thank you for sharing the live too, my bro. You're a legend. Yeah, he's half Islander. Yeah, Shane, yeah. Yeah, Shane Fenton. You got Shane and Jamie. Yeah, bro, like, and Shane's always put work in for his brothers, you know what I mean? Yeah, big, tall Jace with the long hair. Oi, Bo knows, Arthur, big, tall Jace Roberts with the curly hair, real tall. Oi, Bo knows, thank you for joining. No comment, thank you, bro. Oh, 12 gauge. Yeah, yeah, oi, Fenno, yeah, bro, Fenno's like, yeah, so, so Fenno and, no comment, thank you very much. But yeah, so Fenno and Hamper, they ended up having to go at Parramatta, bro. And it was that fair of a go. I never seen it. Arthur. But I know Jace Roberts, yeah, real big, tall bloke. Oi, thank you for the follow. Yeah, real big, tall bloke, bro. But I never seen it. But yeah, when Hampo and Fenno end up catching up, Fella was on the dock when they went to the Koori footy show. Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe, I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not sure. Golden Gloves 99, no way. Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah. 100% Kanto Shine, 100%. That's what I mean. It's different now, bro. Yeah, it's 100% different. But yeah, so that's what happened. Yeah, I'm about to answer that now. Nah, listen, I'll tell you, Cartier, listen to this, right? Back in the day, there was no UGDRAs, right, in jail, right? Yeah, I don't know if they were 2 out, but Philos and I were there when Fenno and Hampo had that fight at Parabra. But yeah, Cartier, the ball runners, do they get on UGDRAs before they fight? Back in the day, there was no, like, what happened was you would train Monday to Friday. On Saturday and Sunday, the boys would party. It's when the chicken come to the prison system in 2003. When the chicken first come out in 2003, no one knew what it was. So no one was getting on it, bro. Yeah, 100%. He's a solid, bro. He had one of the best bodies in the system, bro. Chunky, ripped. So no one knew what it was. It was around 2-4, 2-5, 2-6 when Butte really started kicking off. And then everybody was on it. So I guess even the ball runners were getting on it and they'll putting in work. But they weren't having it just before a fight. Yeah, it was 2003. Yeah. Party, Cartier, I mean, Just D, we're talking about, Anthony, bro. We're talking about Anthony, bro. Yeah, what I mean about party, like, so Saturday and Sunday, the Aussies will go on a visit, they'll get whatever, and the boys will just have a bit of a party. Nah, Anthony. Or Ikne got stabbed, but we're talking about Anthony when he had a fight with Fenno at Para. Yeah. Like I spoke about how Nick, you know how Nick's got the big burn on his chest, Just Eat? That's what saved him when he got stabbed by Orbs and Jack Pritchard at Parklea. Yeah, Eats was, yeah. And then we're talking about how, yeah. Well, that's what saved him, bro. That aved him, say, when he got stabbed in the chest at Parklea by Orbs and Jack Pritchard. But then I was just talking about when his brother caught Fenno at Para, how good of a goal it was, because even the Screws let it go. It was 1-on-1, and even the Screws let it go, bro, because it was that good, like, and just that tough. They let it go, bro. It was mad. Big Brad Parker, Feathersword, Brad. Brad. Big, solid Brad? Like big, aeroid stay Brad? Kizza! What are you doing, kids? How are we? Oh, nah, might be a different one then, Feather Sword. Might be a different one. Yeah, it might be a different one. Yeah, but that is the reason a lot of these race wars started to pop off, bro. Like, see, it's funny because one race war occurred and then everything was retaliation. It was all retaliation, bro, after that. Like, they got us, we'll get them, you know? They got us, we got them, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so it was crazy. Thank you for the, oi, Francis, thank you for the gift. I was saying, fuck it then. No, I don't, bro, I know. Gonzo, bro. Wait, Gonzo was a weapon. So I was at Long Bay with Gonzo, bro, and I used to spar him, bro. Like, Gonzo was a beast, bro. Do you know Chicken Wing? No, I don't, bro. Nah, Chicken Wing, no, I don't. Oi, guys, thank you for the follow. Yeah, but, oi, chat. Or unknown, what's doing, bro? What's doing, brother? Oi, Mark, thank you very much. Sup, sis? How long has it been race war against race inside? Bruh, that tension was hectic, Paulie, back then. So the race wars died down. Listen, let me tell you why. Right? So, like I said, Goulburn is the only jail in New South Wales that is segregated into race. Every other jail is segregated into pods, right? Oi, thank you, Cardi. Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate that immensely, bro. Oh, thank you very much. That's an idea too, bro. That's a good idea. So Goulburn is the only jail that's segregated into a race. All right. There's no more tension now, bro. Or user, there's no more tension at all. But once they made pods, this kind of conquered like the race wars, bro. Because it would only Kempsey jail, yeah, bro. Kempsey, yeah, that's right. Because it was easier to contain. When the jails were first fully open, bro, it was crazy. Like, when a race war popped off, there was 400 inmates. Like, 60 of them were involved in a war. If the others jumped in, they jumped in. If they didn't, they didn't. But it was so hard for oi, Brad, thank you. It was so hard for the screws to control it. This is why they started to make these pods, like jails into pods. But I'll tell you, Supermax, yeah, I was there. I was in 7 Wing, bro. I was in 7 Wing. I was there for 15 months. I went back to the STG, then I went back to Supermax after the escape. Yeah, after the escape, bro, it was fucked. Like, that was one of the shittest jails I've ever done. Oi, mother's meeting, how are you? Was there tension in the STG? Nah, there wasn't tension in the STG, but there was dramas, you know what I mean? Like, Mike Cowie had a fight with Ravi Kalachi in STG. Yeah, oi, Zach, 100%, bro. That's 100%. Which Gordo, bro? And what year? Because I was there 2004. Oi, Francis, thank you very much, bro. Thank you, Francis, you're a legend. But who's Mike Cowie? Phil Jarrett. Philip Charles Jarrett. Nah. Yeah, Brad. I do, oi, Shanks, I do know him, but I don't know him personally. Yeah, I escaped, bro. I verbal to screw to let me out. Big no, yeah, Oswald, yeah, big no, you know, yeah. Did anyone put up a good fight with Robbie? Heaps of people did, bro. Yeah, heaps of people did. But Robbie's, bro. He's about it always, you know. Like, me and him are very, very close. Always been close. He taught me how to grapple actually at Kempsey. We were 2 out. Oi, Rusty 4 litre, thank you. We were 2 out at Kempsey, and he taught me how to. Oh, Stephen Gordon. Yeah. I know Stephen Gordon, but he wasn't with me at the time. And Jimmy Gordon. Goulburn had the best view, yeah. Yeah, Paulie, yeah, I did. Yeah, Ravi was proper, bro, yeah. Boy, 420 spinner mad Abinstay, yeah? Bro, I got stabbed 20 times at Parklea with Terry RC. So, yo, Dustin, no way. Bro, be original. Oi, Rusty 4-litre, what's happening, lad? I did see Moody snipe. I did see Moody, did anyone pick a fight with Robbie? Nah, they didn't. Nah, they didn't, bro. Not at Kempsey, nah. But he was going to get a little bloke called Sammy Sanka. Oh, I just verbal. Like, I had a relationship with a psychologist. No way. Greenie, what's happening, bro? I was just telling the story about when you fucking... Oi, Ivan Testic. Yeah. What's doing, brah? He's alright. Oi, love ya, Nate. Love ya. Love ya. I was just telling him how you knocked Snape Day out at the top of the stairs. And then the race war started at... Bro, last time I've been mad, bro. Fuck, I've been mad, bro. How you been? Last time I was with this bloke was at Wellington, 2009, yeah, that's all. 2009, 2010, me and Greenie used to train every day on the pads and stuff at Wellington. That was the last time I seen him. No way. No way with Daniel. No way. Bruh, oi. Every Trump runs it up. Yeah. Nah. Naif. Yeah, oi, bruh, inbox me, you madman. Inbox me on that. And I'll message you. Naif, man, what's happening, bruh? No way. Hey, fuck yeah. And what a spin out, bro. I had to be talking about you tonight. Did someone send it to you? Because I said, like, I'll tell you. Do you know Dort and Baxter from Wellington? Not jail back in the... Yeah, I thought so. It's shame, mate. It's shame. Oh, I love you, bro. I love you. Inbox me, but. Inbox me. Sean Kane. No, I don't know Sean Kane. I don't know. But I heard you're doing well, bro. I heard you got married and stuff. No, he didn't. Robbie didn't run Kempsey. No one did. Yeah. Love you, Naif. Love ya. I love you, bro. Oh, yeah, I love ya. Inbox me. Yeah, Hoods, did ya? No. Sammy Sankar passed? No way. Well, he had drums with Robbie at Kempsey. Where's Wonks? I'm not sure, bro. I don't know where Wonks is. Rels. Oi, Naif, they wouldn't do our era, bro. Oi, hey, well, what's up? They wouldn't survive our era. No way, bro. They just wouldn't survive our era. No way. Do you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't do it, bro. Yeah, 100%. Well, inbox me, Naif. Inbox me, bro, and we'll dead set talk. I'll send you my number, and we'll stay in touch, bro, for sure. For sure. No, in about half hour. Yeah, each one. About half hour, 40 minutes. Inbox me and I'll get back to you, bro, straight away. Is that your girl's page? Or are you just on that? Is that your page? Yeah, each one. Oh, love you, bro. Love ya. Yeah, so... Organs. Oh, yeah, sweet. Yeah, so that's what happened. So how did I escape? Well, Stephen won. Oi, where is Stephen won? Oh, no, okay, yeah. Oi, bro, I work on the dock. I work on the dock, bro. I work on the dock at Botany and at Strathfield, putting containers on the back of trucks and ships, bro. Yeah. I don't know where Stephen is. Where is Stephen? Yeah, I don't know where he is, I don't know where he is, bro. But wait, chat, listen, we're pushing. I will tell this. Do you want to hear the story of the escape? Yeah, the site got caught. Yeah. Should I tell you the story of the escape again? No names, but if you want to hear it, oh yeah, brah. Thank you, Rusty. The jacket's fresh. I do know Johnny Bandit. Yeah, I was very, very good mates with Johnny. We're two out at Kempsey. Oh yeah, no, that's just the way the lights are set up, brah. And this jacket is one of a kind. Robin, Uncle Busy's acting stizzies from TikTok is Bill Smiles. Oh, he's Wizzy, lad. Yeah, they are. Oh, no, they're veneers. Do you know Ray Merritt transit story? Yeah, Jules, I told it. I told the story about Ray Merritt. I told the story about Ray Merritt and Griffo when they got attacked on the truck. They got bashed from Silverwater, up from Goulburn all the way to... Do you know Fruity? Yeah, of course I know Fruity. Fruity Robbo. Lance. Yeah, of course. Yeah.